This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment, Radical Radio. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Good Friday morning. We've got a lot of information today. Today will be a wrap-up day. We are America's voice of freedom. We are the Patriot. Feel free today to call toll-free 1-888-394-1430 on the east side, 394-1190. I'll try not to rant and rave. If there's anything that we discussed Monday through Thursday that you guys want to rehash, don't hesitate to give me a call. You know, when I start going crazy, nobody gets time, but we, again, appreciate all the calls, all the emails, the faxes, all the information. But let's get down to, and again, I've got a lot of community service bulletins. Some I'm going to hold back because they don't have the fundraisers and don't have the events until the second or third week of August. So we've read a few of those. We're going to hold back because we've got so much, and we're going to try to do all we can do. So bear with me, because if it was some information for a fundraiser that you were involved in, you'd want me to take the time, and so I will take the time. And I first want to say, Nancy Kohler, I appreciate the information. Nancy is the executive assistant to St. Clair County Sheriff Rick Watson. One of their own, Officer Eric Broder, has got stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And you people think we got problems. He's 42-year-old. He's a correction officer with St. Clair County. They're going to have a fundraiser. At Pitcher's Bar and Grill at 104 West Main Street. And it's going to be this evening from 5:30 p.m. to 1 o'clock a.m. So I would ask not just law enforcement personnel, but I would ask everybody to come out and enjoy the festivities and come out and help not only a law enforcement brother for all you law enforcement officers, but a fellow human being for all us human beings out there. It's going to be tonight. 42 years old. Say he was is a great correction officer. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Let's see what we say here. It says we want to do everything we can to help the family, and I agree with you, Nancy. So, again, it'll be tonight, July the 24th, from 5:30 p.m. to 1 o'clock a.m. at Pitcher's Bar and Grill, a beautiful, nice place right across the street from the courthouse. People that I've been told to go in there. Great food, great atmosphere, never any problems. So that's going to be at Pitcher's Bar and Grill, 104 West Main Street in Belleville. So if you guys can make it out there, please do. There's going to be a T-shirt sale, going to be 50-50 contest. There's going to be silent auctions. And again, just be thankful that we're not in the position that Officer Browden's are in, and hopefully we can do something to help the gentleman out. Silent auction, 50-50 dessert auction, held August the 1st at the SWIC, Sam Wolf Granite City campus at 4950 Maryville Road in Granite City, Illinois. Trivia night for Alzheimer's. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact the Alzheimer's people at 618-931-3999. Coming up tomorrow, Saturday, you've heard me talk about it all week, July the 25th, the big Veterans Memorial Day event in Bunker Hill. It will start at 10 o'clock a.m. and it'll last until 9 p.m. Live music by Whiskey River, also at 2:30. Memories of Elvis by Steve Davis. They're going to have bounce houses for the kids, 5K walk and run, poker run. All the benefits will go to the Veterans Assistance and the USO. If you have any questions or concerns, you can contact Bob at 618-225-7534. Today and tomorrow, today from 4 to 7 p.m. and tomorrow from 10 to 2 p.m., the Texas-style barbecue, a fundraiser for our good friends at the Mid-America Horse Rescue, will be held at Crehan's in Belleville, the parking lot of Crehan's on the Beltline in Belleville, Illinois. Cruising with the Suns tomorrow, Saturday, July the 25th. All vehicles welcome. It's sponsored by the American Legion, Oakville, Illinois, Post 233. $10 per vehicle. All you have to do is show up at the Oakville Legion Hall 233 at 11 o'clock p.m. until noon. It's going to be live music, food available, live auctions. If you can make it out there, please do. The American Legion, Belleville Post 1937. Meat shoot this Sunday, July the 26th at noon at TR's Place, 4901 Concordia Church Road in Belleville. Any questions or concerns, you can contact Commander Jim Farbus at 409-1212. Summer Sizzle, indoor, outdoor, crafter, and vendor event. Dyslexia Center, July the 25th, tomorrow, located in the parking lot at the Scottish Rites Building, 1549 Frank Scott Parkway in Belleville. It'll be held from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Don't forget the Madison County Fair. Don't forget the Madison County Fair running from July the 21st to July the 26th. I believe it's in Edwardsville. Highland? I'm sorry, it's in Highland, Illinois. The Madison County Fair, Highland, Illinois. Tractor pull this Saturday at Summerfield at the Lions Club. Great people. Love the people in Summerfield, Illinois. Going to have a tractor pull contest, a food court, children's booth. It'll start Saturday at 4 p.m. Registration is at 5 p.m. and the tractor pull starts at 6. The Hooter girls are going to be there. They're going to have a nickel race. They're going to have races for the young kids. And I want to put a shout out to all the great people in Summerfield and especially my buddy, Mayor Lonnie Yates. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call Keith at 409-3416 or Mike Richter at 410-1135. And don't forget, coming up August the 9th, our good friend, Bill Furness. If you like Johnny Cash, you'll love Bill Furness. He's the greatest Johnny Cash tribute artist I've ever heard. And this is a country station, and we've heard a lot of them. He will be on Sunday, August the 9th, starting at 1 p.m. at the Righteous Pig Barbecue at 124 East Main Street in Belleville. It'll be an acoustic Johnny Cash performance with a lot of special guests. There's going to be 50-50 drawings and barbecue. You got to go out, if nothing else, just to witness Bill Furness. Because, again, he does a great Johnny Cash tribute. And if you like Johnny Cash, right here in Belleville, at the Righteous Pig Barbecue, 124 East Main Street in Belleville, Illinois. You can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. You can go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com, one word, common spelling. You can like us on Facebook at KQQZ 1190 AM or our sister station at KZQZ 1430 AM. You can also hear my repeat performance every day at 4 o'clock p.m. and now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night, Monday through Friday at the stroke of midnight. On this date, July the 24th, 1847, Brigham Young founded the state of Desiree, and the federal government later changed the name to Utah. On this date, July the 24th, 1933, Dr. Reinhoff Jr. performed the first successful lung removal operation in Baltimore. That was on July the 24th, 1933. On this date, July the 24th, 1938, instant coffee was patented. On this date, July the 24th, 1965, Casey Stengel resigned as manager of the New York Mets. On this date, July the 24th, 1969, Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay was convicted for refusing induction in the United States Army. On this date, July the 24th, 1974, the United States Supreme Court unanimously ruled that President Nixon had to turn over subpoenaed White House tape and all the recordings due to the Watergate special prosecutor. Well, here's a good one. On this date, July the 24th, 2002, James Traficant, the congressman from Ohio, was expelled from the U.S. House of Representatives on a vote of 420-1 after being convicted of accepting bribes, filing false tax returns, racketeering, and forcing his aides to perform chores at his home in Ohio and on his houseboat in Washington, D.C. That's what happened on this date, July the 24th, throughout all these years in our world's history. You know, last night, and I don't know why I have the problem, I guess too much calcium. You ever passed a kidney stone? It hurts like a son of a bitch. I passed them last night. I'm still on some medication, so I normally don't talk very good anyway, but if I talk even worse and some of my speech is slurred, it's because of the pain medication. And actually, maybe it'll make a better show. The best show would be like my old buddy John Albel from Channel 2 used to say, Bob, take your show. If you want the best show, have 61 minutes of silences, and that'll be the best show you ever had. So maybe I ought to take him up on that. I want to thank Cherie Langenstein. Yesterday, she's announced candidate for the 58th Senatorial District in this great state of Illinois. What a beautiful lady. What a nice lady. What a very, very qualified lady. And I just think all the people in the 58th State Senatorial District of Illinois should be happy to have a candidate like that hopefully she can win and maybe turn this state around. And I said on the same note yesterday, when the gentleman ran for state attorney general, he was gracious enough to come in and we interviewed him, Paul Schimpf. I don't know why, Paul, and I've talked to some people last night, they heard me on the air, said that would be great for you to run for state representative against Jerry Costello II. Now, I don't have anything against Jerry Costello II, but I believe in a true two-party system. And to have a true two-party system, you have to have candidates on both sides. But I tell you, hopefully the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition will unite with the Republicans and the disenfranchised Democrats and all the independents and work together so we can get rid of these corrupt bastards in St. Clair County in 2016. But I have to say, with all due respect, you Republicans, you guys usually fight each other, and I don't know why. You guys fight each other and fight each other. There's no fight left when it comes to the general election. So why don't you guys, and I say this with all due respect, why doesn't the Republican Party, especially in the areas where they're not real strong, unite with people like the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition? Because a little bit of the political pie is better than none. And if you don't unite with people that think like you, it's never going to happen. Our good friend, Bill Holmes, the blues master on our KZQZ 1430 AM station. If you like jazz and blues from 9 to 11 every Saturday morning on KZQZ 1430 AM, Bill Holmes plays the best of all the jazz and blues. His sister, Roxanne Johnson, she passed away last week, and there's going to be visitation today. Actually, it started at 10 o'clock. It's going to be visitation today from 10 till 11. And the place will be Followers of Christ Church at 3104 Summit Avenue in East St. Louis. And I want to say, Bill, our sincere and deepest condolences go out for the loss of your sister, Roxy Johnson. I've met her a few times. She was a great lady. And I just wish you the best. Hope everything works out for you. Also, I want to say hi to Nancy at the League Lounge right here in Belleville. Great supporters of ours, and even more than that, great supporters, her and Mike, great supporters of this great United States of America. You can go in their place. I guess it's about 15th and West Main, the League Lounge. There's a big sign out there. You'll know that you're in a patriotic area because there's flags. These guys are true patriots. So Nancy and Mike, I want to say always thanks for the information. Thank you very much. I want to start off, I guess. Well, here we go. Police capture an alleged panty thief in someone's home. This ignorant, stupid son of a bitch, Anon Gross of Alton, was caught by police in a basement getting ladies' pantyhose. Hey, Mayor Mark Pussyboy Eckert, also known as Maximus Vaginus, you better check your underwear drawer, you idiot. This guy may have snuck in and got some of your bitch panties. But this guy breaks into a home, steals people's underwear, ladies' underwear, and I don't know why some idiot would do that. But he also he stole underwear, hair, and female protection products. Hey, that might be right up your alley, Mark Pussyboy Eckert, Mayor of Belleville, also known as Maximus Vaginus. You may need some of those female protection products. And I want to apologize to all the females because I don't even want to put this ignorant bitch, boy, son of a bitch in the category with the nice lady. So I do want to apologize for that. But what the hell's our country coming to? Guys got nothing better to do but steal panties out of somebody's drawer. So, hey, if you want Mark Pussyboy Eckert, I will come by your house and help you put a lock on your panty drawer, if you know what I mean. There's a letter to the editor, and it's from Angela Michael, Small Victories Church, I guess, out of Highland. It says, time for action. There was a recent news story about a police officer. Now, I know we want to hear all the bad about police officers, but for every bad police officer, there's 10, 20,000 good police officers. So let's hear something good occasionally about our police officers. There was a recent news story about a police officer who was called for a shoplifting incident. The accused was the mother of 6 children. She was homeless, living in their car, and in dire need of diapers and formula for her children. Instead of arresting the mother, the police officer cited her and went back into the store, paid for the items she so desperately needed, and give them to her. Now, Angela Michael, if you're listening, or anybody in Highland, let me know who this police officer is, because we would like to acknowledge and not only pay our respects for his generous act of humanity, but we would also like to reward him because of his act of sincere kindness. We'd like to do something for that police officer. I know that's not why he did what he did, but we hear these stories every day. They're just not brought out every day. Nobody wants to hear good about anybody. Are you nuts? They want to hear the crap. They want to hear the bad side. Well, we want to give the good side, and that was the good side. So whoever that police officer is, somebody, I would assume it's from Highland, somebody give me a call. Let me know what's going on. Also, in the paper, in the Post-Dispatch, midget defenders need to grow up. I said that about the midgets. They need to grow up. Now, this guy's copying off of me. There's a big article in today's Post-Dispatch, a great big article, about Freeburg residents should take a stand on common decency. You idiot, who is this? Eric Zarn. He's a reporter from the Post-Dispatch. The good people of Freeburg have taken a stand on common decency. They're not going to let some son of a bitch, I don't care if he's 9 foot tall or 2 foot tall, dictate to the good people of Freeburg. They use the Freeburg midgets term out of respect. It's not out of disrespect. I told you nobody's going to call themselves the Freeburg lowlifes or the Freeburg scumbags or the Freeburg jerk-offs. The mighty midgets. And I don't know why we have to have all this politically correctness. And the little people, I feel for you. I really do. I feel for anybody that's got any kind of disability or any kind of handicap. But the little people, LPA national spokesman, that's Little People Association, Leah Smith said, in quotes, "We're not a circus act. We're doctors and lawyers. We're moms and dads. We're full members of the community." That's true, you are. So why? Why do you want to bring it up that, hey, we're little people and we deserve a special respect? This is America. We've got a right. We've got a right to say what we want. And I would say freedom. Freedom should not be suppressed. It should be exercised. It should not be criticized and punished. Freedom should be praised and exercised day in and day out, all of our freedoms. And for this midget situation, and I don't believe it's going anywhere, But I read this where the Washington Redskins, the federal trademark registration was canceled on the grounds that the nickname is an ethnic slur. Now, I want to say last night, and I don't want to get into a pissing match on racial situations because I've got a lot of proud black friends. And it's not about black and white. It's about wrong and right. I watched about 5 minutes of a movie last night. On TV, they had advertisers, so apparently the advertisers condone this movie, White Chicks. It's Wayne and somebody, what's their last name? Whatever, the two black guys, the two comedians. They were together, and they were just totally embarrassing these white ladies, how stupid they were. And there was a lot of racial overtones. And you know what? I didn't really appreciate that. But I'll be damned if I'm going to go protest. What the hell do I care? If it's offensive to me, you know what I do? I turn the channel. Those people have every right to be offensive. They don't have the right to hurt me. They don't have the right to intimidate me, as I don't have the right to hurt or intimidate anybody else. They don't have the right to threaten me, but they've got a right to be offensive. Everybody has the right to be offensive because at one point in time, we're all offensive to somebody. We don't all think alike. We don't all do alike. But that's what's wrong in this great country. We have to wake up. Look at that situation in Lafayette, Louisiana. You can't even go to the damn show in Lafayette, Louisiana. Some fool's going to come by and shoot 8, 10 people, kill 3 or 4 people, and we're worried about a name called the Midgets? Are you people nuts? You know, I've received some correspondence from Lucifer. You know who Lucifer is? You know, the real devil. You know, the real devil got a hold of me, and he said, Bob, he became totally upset because the Belleville Little Devils football team, he's offended that such a great group of people who work with our youth in Belleville and try to teach them about football and good sportsmanship, to try to put a good light on him, on Lucifer, on the devil, the ever-present devil, the ultimate doer of evil. He's pissed off. We're going to have to change the name, the Little Devils. It's a name, it's a mascot. It's something to sometimes to make light of. I'm sure that everybody in the Belleville Little Devils football team, I'm sure they're not devil worshipers. Just a cute little name. How stupid is it, people, that we have to be this politically correct in a country, in a world that today there's so much violence, so much hatred, and we're going to waste our time? We're going to waste our time on worrying about a nickname for the Washington Redskins, for the Freeburg Midgets, for the Cleveland Dipty-Doos. Who the hell cares? Let's move on. Let's get past all this bull crap. Let's get past all this political correctness, and let's do something. Let's unite together to do something positive, to get rid of the crime, get rid of the destruction, get rid of all the unemployment. Let's don't go off on a side course because Freeburg just happened to have their mascot as the Midgets. We've got better things to do with our time, people. Think about it. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, and proud to be your First Amendment and all-American station, Radical Radio, and we stand tall as the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio. And we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. I had someone call when we were on our break. Told me, said, Bob, you know what? That medication, pain medication, will make your speech be slurred and you won't talk right. I said, hey, I take medication every day. I never talk right. So you get what you get. I'm not a professional radio guy. If you don't like what I say, kiss my white, hairy, stinky ass and shut it off. I speak better than some stupid son of a bitches. Well, maybe not many, but the medication's wearing thin. So if I get a little crazy, turn it off. Don't give a damn. Had a call from Josh from St. Charles. He said he loves the show, and Josh and all you listeners in St. Charles, Missouri, we appreciate all the support. We get it. We get calls and emails all the time. And he asked, he said, Bob, we ought to go more on national issues. And Josh, I have to say, if we're going to change this country, if we're going to change this great United States and put it in a positive direction, we have to start at the local level. I mean, you could hear, if I did national events, you could hear that on MSNBC, you can hear that on C-SPAN, you can hear that on Fox, you can hear that on any of the stations. It's what I want to give locally, and we may start with 2 hours because I'd like to go on the other side of the river. I'd like to get up to Madison County, but as you know, an hour on the radio isn't much time. But I appreciate the call, Josh. Keep up the good work, and I don't know why. I just don't know why people have to be as rotten, no-count, low-life son of a bitches as they are. Also, I want to say hi to Ron Baggett out of South Roxana. And Ron, thank you very much for all the information. We're looking forward to getting into that this next week. And again, when people like Ron, people like Bill from Highland, people like Jim from St. Louis, they'll all, and a lot more people, they'll send us all kinds of information. Some of it's good, some of it they think's good, but it's not. But when we get it, we've got a crew of investigators. We'll investigate it, and if there's anything to it, I guarantee you it's going to be exposed. So again, thank you very much, Ron Baggett from South Roxana. I hope you and all the good people in South Roxana have a good weekend, and keep up the fight with us here at KQQZ 1190 AM. Keep up with us for the fight for truth and justice in this great United States of America. We got some callers. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Hello?
Hello. Go ahead.
Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I had about 3 comments. One on the little people thing. You know, I grew up kind of short, and I wasn't what they call a midget. But, you know, if I had a good friend, we were buddies or something, I'd probably joke, hey, you midget, you know, like that. But I think that generally speaking, so it sounds kind of like a harsh term. I get that. Whether they want to make a big issue out of it, political correctness as far as changing the name, kind of on the fence on that.
Okay.
Second thing, Eddie Scholler, the horrible death of Fast Eddie. You know, the thing your first thought is, here's a man who created an empire, money. Why would somebody do it? I remember asking my dad a long time ago, there was a guy up the street that attempted a suicide, and I said, Dad, why would he hurt himself? And he said, because the pain of life was obviously worse than that. Okay, so obviously he had something. Who knows what it was? We know. No, they said he was dispirited over declining health, but don't know. But still, you know, it's kind of weird. Just kind of like you think, got all the money in the world. Why would you do it?
Well, and Mark, let me tell you, I'm an ex-homicide detective in East St. Louis. I've witnessed all kind of death. And I'm not for anybody. If somebody's got a psychological problem, I say get them help. But I've witnessed people 75, 80 years old dying of cancer, dying of some kind of horrible disease. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the person that want to check out at that point. But I've said it before, don't do it in your living room where family has to walk by every day. Go out to a nice, serene lake. But I disagree with you a little bit, Mark, because this is my life. If I want to if I'm in my right mind and I'm 80, 85 years old and suffering from an incurable disease, and I've just had enough, I don't want anybody to tell me what I can do. Now, I don't want it to affect somebody else's life, but we're all going to die. Death affects all of us. But I just think in this great country of ours, Mark, and as sophisticated as we are, when you go in the nursing homes, and I don't want to cast any bad light on the poor people, the elderly poor people in the nursing homes, but when you had a man or a woman that was dignified their whole life, that worked hard their whole life, that were successful their whole life, and then you see them and they're slobbering all over themselves, no dignity, no anything. Is that a life? And I say to me, if somebody in that position wants to take their lives, I think they should have the right to. I would assume you disagree with me, though, huh?
No, I've thought about that. What if I was diagnosed with like a terminal disease, rather than go through all the, the money, the hardship, the blah, blah, blah? I'm with you there. And the only thing that would stop me is probably my foundation of religious belief, which says you're not supposed to do that. Other than that, I probably would, because why would I want to go through exactly what you... There was a guy named Judge Goldenhirsch. You remember him?
I remember. I sure do. Great man.
And then he went south real quick. I think he had a stroke. I remember my folks took to a Red Lobster restaurant. We saw him, and it was horrible.
Right.
I mean, that's a good example of, like you said, someone who had this great life, and then bam, So I'm with you, and that's a tricky subject.
It is. It's something. You know what? It should be. It's a moral issue that everybody should think about and judge for themselves, not for their family, not for their friends, but everybody. That should be their right, their own individual, personal right.
Well, I guess you're right. I agree with you. I agree. It's just like I said, I was worried about the afterlife as somebody like, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, listen, and I think you're a great guy, and I do appreciate the call, but get a reality check. Nobody does what they're supposed to do, religious or otherwise, in this country, because we're all human beings. We're all flawed. That's a good concept, but it's never going to fly.
Right on, brother. Thank you for your time. I love your show.
Hey, Mark, thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time to call. And I don't want to make light. On somebody that's very sick, that's dying. But I mean, this is my life. It's your life. Go out to a nice lake somewhere and do what you got to do. Don't hang yourself in the living room where your family has to walk by and remember that incident for the rest of their life. Don't blow your head off where there's still part of your brain on the wall that your family has to walk by. Do it with some dignity. But I think we have every right. We have every right to take our lives. If it's at the end of our lives, we have nothing to look forward to. All we're going to be is a burden on our family and friends, financially and otherwise. And I know people say, that's probably not right. It may not be right, but it's realistic. I got to say, I watched TV last night, and I'm pro-police, as everybody knows. And it was a black bitch. This black bitch gets out of the car in Hempstead, Texas. And I listened to it. This white officer says, ma'am, get out of the car. Improper lane usage. Now, if it wasn't a crime, then the state legislature of Texas shouldn't have put it on the books. Apparently, I don't know if she ran somebody off the road or what she did, but this officer, and if you listen to the first part of it, you'll understand he was just trying to be decent. And it never would have got to the point where she would have been arrested. You saw her, she gets out of the car, and I feel bad for her family because she killed herself. Gets out of the car with her phone and starts some bull crap. Hey, I don't have to. I don't give a damn black or white. You do what a police officer says. You take care of it in court. You don't take care of it out on the street, but people don't see it that way. All this lady had to do was give that officer her driver's license. She would have got a $50, $75 ticket. It would have took 5, 10, 15 minutes, and she would have been gone. Should have been way gone, but no, she wanted to get out. I don't have to get out of my car. I don't have to do this. And I'm not talking about her being a female. I'm not talking about her being a black female. I'm talking about being a stupid idiot. She started that fight with that police officer. Now they're going to have a big investigation as to what went on. That's bull crap. She struggled to get the handcuffs on. When you tell somebody as a police officer to get out of the car because you don't know if they just killed somebody, don't know if they have a gun in their car, dope, and they refuse, that starts a negative chain reaction. And it starts at the behest of the person, not the police officer. All people have to do. I've been stopped before. You put your license out. I got stopped just a while back. I put my license out the window. It was night. The officer looked at it, and I said, officer, I need to get my insurance card, but it's in my glove box. Is it okay to get it? I wasn't going to just reach in there and grab it and have him think that I was going for a gun. He's a human being. He wants to go home at night. If you show these police officers a little respect, I think at this day and age, you'll get it back twofold. But for that lady in Texas, and they're going to make a great big to-do about it. They're going to have a big protest. They got this going on, that going on. Well, all I tell you, Don't start a fight with the police officer, because 10 times out of 10, you're not going to win. Just abide by what he says. And that officer, and please, if you didn't get it, I'm sure you can get on the internet. He tried to be as decent as he could up to a point. But see, these guys in these uniforms and badges, they're not robots. They're human beings. They don't want to be talked down to. They don't want to be threatened. What's wrong with people? But now, all of a sudden, the FBI's involved. The Texas Rangers are involved. Everybody's involved, because all this lady had to do was give that officer her driver's license. He didn't know at the time that she was taking medication for seizures. He didn't know her. Or they don't say, hey, give me your driver's license and your medical record. He asked for the driver's license. She refused to give it to him. And I would think, as a policeman, why would she refuse? Well, I guess she refused because maybe she's got something illegal in that car. Maybe there's guns. Maybe there's dope. Maybe she's a terrorist. But no, she's got to give this officer all kind of hell. And at the end of the day, the family, I don't think it was suicide. No, the policeman got up there and hung the bitch. Now that pisses me off. You know, just do right, people. And none of us are perfect. If you make a mistake, take a deep breath. I don't want to see anybody, black, white, men, women. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I want to see everybody go home to their family, the police officers and the person that got stopped. It's not that hard. Everybody just calm down. Everybody just be a little more decent. The police officers in this day and age, they got to do everything but kiss our ass, and it's a shame because that's not right either. But this lady went goofy off on a police officer, and the end results, she got put in jail. And because she was despondent, because she was apparently a little goofy, she hangs herself. Well, that's not the police officer's fault. That's her fault. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio at its finest. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Before our last break, we were talking about this suicide, this hanging suicide down in Texas. And this is what really pisses me off. It said one farm indicated that this lady, Mrs. Bland, had suicidal thoughts within the past year. Now, the officers didn't know that. Another said that wasn't the case. You know, it's back and forth, back and forth. When she signed circle something no, that she was currently on medication when apparently she was. But now, the State Department of Safety in the state of Florida, this trooper had been on for about a year, has been placed on administrative leave for violating unspecific police procedures and the department's courtesy policy. I saw what that bitch did and said to that police officer. These police officers, again, you idiot politicians, it's not the professional police officers. I salute them today and every day for protecting me and my family, and you should salute them for protecting you and your family. But when you get these bastard politicians, he's been suspended or going to be suspended on administrative leave because of the department's courtesy policy. What the hell are you talking about, you idiot low-life bastards? You know, they're going to get this guy for something. And I got to say, I believe because she's black. If it had been a white person, I don't think it would have been all that much problem. But it says in big headlines, no evidence of homicide. in Texas jail death. If that lady would have just taken her ticket, but she started it, people remember that. And you know what? Your mom and dad, your dad primarily, always tell me, Bobby, don't start something you can't finish. And these people now, and see, that's the big problem. And I am pro-police. I am not I'm against the bums, the few bums with the badges, the Bill Clays, these rotten Captain Moody, these no-good son of a bitches around that use their badge for political purposes, these political operatives. I'm against them. But I'll support forever the truly professional law enforcement community. But what's happened, people? I've talked with an officer yesterday from Belleville. They're getting ready to leave the force. They can't take this crap. These officers are human beings. But now this officer is going to be charged with some kind of department's courtesy policy. You politicians, you guys got to start thinking. We're going to lose all the decent political people. I'm sorry, all the decent police people, the police community. We don't give a damn about the political community. There's nobody decent in the political community other than the few public servants. But do you understand? In the few years to follow, these professional police officers, they're going to go get another line of work. They've been trained. They've been educated. They're truly professional police officers. They're not going to put up with this crap. They're proud men and proud women. They're not going to eat somebody's crap, whether they're black or white. It's unbelievable what we've come to in this great country. But that's what it is. And it's not going to get any better, people. Not going to get any better until we make it better. We got another caller. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side. Mrs. Kern, I haven't heard from you for a while. Everybody knows Mrs. Kern, Erin Kern, the wife of Mark Sweetcakes Kern, the Sasquatch bitch, the hairy bitch. Mrs. Kern, what did you tell me? You said you've been listening to my show, and now you want more information? You actually want more information on the mayor of Belleville, Mark Pussy Boy Eckert, also known as Maximus Vaginus? May I ask, Mrs. Kern, you hairy, and I can smell you on the air, Mrs. Kern, you smell that bad. May I ask why? Why, you hairy, stinky, rich bitch? You white bitch. We have to say white because she is. Why, Mrs. Kern, would you want information on the mayor of Belleville, Maximus Vaginus? Oh, Mrs. Kern, come on. Now, I've got a foul mouth, but Mrs. Kern, I can't repeat that on the radio. You naughty, hairy, stinky, think you're better than everybody else, white bitch? What the hell's wrong with you? No, Mrs. Kern. You get crazier every time you call Mrs. Kern. I will not, and I told you that before. I will not come over to your house and swing on that swing. I with you and your husband. You know your husband, Mark Sweetcakes Kern. I will not come over and swing with you guys. I've driven by your house. Well, it's not really your house, your alleged house, which isn't a house at all, but it's an old medical building. Uh-oh. That's dedicated to you.
Yes, we were swinging. Just a swinging.
Yeah, Mrs. Kern, I don't know what this fetish is with you or husband getting on your front porch and swinging. I don't know, but I'll be damned. I will not come by and swing with you and your husband on the swing. You know, again, I've driven by, and I don't know how the hell you people can live there, Mrs. Kern, because you don't have windows. Every other house in Belleville and all throughout St. Clair County, for safety factor, has to have ingress and egress through your windows, and you've got blocks. But see, you're the Kerns. You can get away with whatever you want. No, Mrs. Kern, no. But I do hear, and I heard what you said. You say you're trying to get your husband, your greasy, sleazy, bottom-feeding husband of yours, Mark Sweetcakes Kern, to give up on politics and not to run for St. Clair County Board Chairman. Is that a exclusive? You know, everyone in St. Clair County wants that ignorant bastard to run so he can really be exposed for what the bitch boy that he is. And Mrs. Kern, I want to apologize. I have to apologize to all the bitch boys because they're not even as despicable in low life as your husband, Mr. Mark Sweetcakes Kern. Well, no, that's it. Cut her. Mrs. Kern, what you said, it may come back to bite you in your hairy, stinky, ignorant, pitiful, white, hairy, smelly ass. And by the way, Mrs. Kern, some people in the county are being told what your bottom-feeding husband, Mark Sweetcakes Kern, they're being explained what his nickname's all about. And they're just laughing their asses off. And don't think, Mrs. Kern, when you and your husband and your stupid idiot son walk down the street, and I say stupid idiot son because he's the one that got on the stand and tried to put me in jail for something I didn't do, so he is an idiot, and he's over 18, and you brought him in to the political arena, and he's a goofy-looking son of a bitch. But people are laughing their asses off, and they're very disgusted with you, Mrs. Kern, and your husband, Mark Sweetcakes Kern. And I think at the end of the day, the people in 2016 will find you out. And let's go out. Oh, no, Mrs. Kern. Okay, I'll play that swinging song for you. I'll tell you what. Don't get upset. Don't get upset. I know that's one of your favorite songs and apparently one of your favorite activities. So I'll play this going out for you. This is dedicated to Mrs. Mark Sasquatch, hairy, stinky, rotten, no-count, smelly, white bitch, Aaron Kern.
Yes, we were swinging. Just a swinging.
Mrs. Kern, that's for you. And I know you're getting a lot of use out of that swing because that's what your new guys are doing, I guess, is swinging on that swing. So make sure all the chains and everything's secure. And Mrs. Kern, again, we appreciate you calling, but don't call back when you're in that bad of a mood. But get a brush hog somewhere. Have somebody give you a haircut. Lay on the ground. Let them cut your hairy, stinky ass. It'll take a while. But just remember, Mrs. Kern, you and your husband are low life, good for nothing, think you're better than everybody else, bottom feeding, rich son of a bitches. So thank you very much. And people, thank you for listening. It's Friday. Have a good, safe weekend. My friends and my political enemies, don't want to see anybody get hurt because even our political enemies need to go home to their families. Their families can't help it that their fathers and mothers are idiots. That's just the way it is in this great country. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Be safe. Come on back Monday. We'll continue to expose these no-good son of a bitches. We'll continue to enlighten the good citizens of St. Clair County and all throughout the great state of Illinois and Missouri. We'll continue down our path to destroy these rotten bastards, destroy them politically, of course, until these bastards are all out of office and we get public servants that'll do for everyone. And we can continue this fight. We can continue this fight with the philosophy of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, uniting Democrats, Republicans, Independents, men, women, black and white. We don't care. We need everybody that's been screwed by these rotten bastard politicians. And if we all unite, we don't have to be the best of friends. We don't have to be the same religion, the same color, the same political persuasion. All we have to do is know that we're tired. We're tired of these rotten bastard politicians screwing up our lives and our future generation lives. And if we all can understand that, at that point, we can all unite and continue to expose these no-count political, parasitical, perverted punks they call politicians. We can continue to drag them mercifully underneath a political train, run over their asses, their political asses, of course. And at the end of the day, you know what we have to do. We have to take these son of a bitches down. We have to take them out. We have to get rid of them so our lives, future generations' lives will be better, so this great country will be better without all these no-count, low-life bastards. Take them out politically, of course, right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
The Patriot.
Your First Amendment and All-American Station. A division of Insane Broadcasting. Renegade Radio.
KQQZ, St. Louis.